Welcome to the pod. Y'all, the countdown has officially started. I got my cowboy hat on. This is not the one I'm wearing at Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter is Friday. I will be in DC for 4th of July to go see Beyonce. I just had to bring the hat out. I'm not going to keep it on the whole time. I'm actually going to take it off. But what is good, y'all? Seriously, what is good? I feel like because my last episode was a what's the reality, I feel like we have so much to catch up on. I want to talk about Miami. I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. I finished that. I just finished Jenny and Georgia. I want to get my thoughts on that. And I want to talk about Nelly and Ashanti's reality show because I just finished that as well. I've been binging a lot of reality TV and I just want to binge everything and get caught up because I haven't been able to speak to you guys about it. But what is going on? What have you been watching? Welcome to Toxic Tuesdays. Do we like Toxic Tuesdays or Toxic but Toxic but it's Tuesday? I don't know which one I like better. But what is going on? I got the hat on in honor of Beyonce. Let me take it off. That hat was so expensive as well. I got that hat in Dallas. I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago and well, I guess 2 weeks ago. Was in Dallas a couple weeks ago. That hat's actually like expensive. I didn't plan on spending that much on a hat because I already have a hat for Beyonce, but I was getting that hat because I have another trip coming up in August. We got the trips coming up. What is good with you guys? I hope you're taking trips in this state of the world. You probably need a trip in your life, but let's get into it. We have some reality topics. I'm super goofy today because I'm like, I haven't done this in a while because, like I said, so I hope I can post the video to this because my last video was totally butchered. Like, I don't know what happened. My playback quality was not syncing with my words, and I did not want to post that on YouTube because the quality would have been terrible, and I'm a big quality person when it comes to listening to podcasts. So the quality was not that good. Let me put a little lip on because it looks like I have nothing on my lips when I just have like some lip balm on. Let me get a little. Okay, I put a little something on so I don't look too. I wanted a little lip. We got some reality topics to get into because, like I said, the last episode I did was a what's the reality with the whole Shannon Bedore, Joel, Kim Booster. Make sure you guys listen to that if you haven't. But welcome to Toxic, but it's Tuesdays. We're still working with it because it might become Toxic Tuesdays very soon. Let's just come right out the gate of everything I've been watching. Like I said, I was watching Jenny and Georgia. I finished that today. Wow, I know it's kind of old, like, but it's been trending for like at least 2 months now, I swear, since this came out. Like, and it's been top 5. And I'm like, let me finish it because it was hard for me to get into it. Couldn't remember everything that happened. I hate that Netflix takes forever to produce episodes and it's like a 10 season or 8, like a 10 episode or 8 episode season. It's like you took all that time for that. Okay. But really good. I hope that okay, spoiler alert. Fast forward. We're not going to really talk about it, but it's just something I was enjoying. If you haven't watched it, please keep going. But I would really hope the baby daddy is Paul, even though I'm team, I can't remember his name, Joe or something, the guy that owns the cafe. I am his team because I feel like he has loved her forever and that might be her true love. However, I love Paul. I love Paul and I really feel bad that about his career and everything. And I think it would be crazy if they got back together. Even though he knows she doesn't love him, but all he really wanted was a kid. And I just feel like that'll put him back on top with the mayor and everything. Like, people will want to vote for the family man if he gets back with the mayoress. And if they both decide to do their stuff on the side. And then Joe, or whatever his name is going to have an issue with that because he doesn't want to be in hiding with her. Netflix, you can thank me. You just got your 4th season. Even though I think Jenny and Georgia is only greenlit for 4 seasons. I don't think they're just doing her in high school at least, but I think she's going to be a junior next year. I don't know. She may be a junior next year. Either way, they said they're just following Jenny through high school. You know what else was greenlit? As we get into the reality topics, just something really quick to talk about. Next Gen LA apparently was greenlit, and I did watch Wild Child Inside, which I do want to talk about. Today we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Past 2 episodes. For real, the episode before the finale was giving finale more than this finale. That's my unpopular opinion, but Next Gen LA was greenlit, and apparently Cynthia's daughter Noelle, and Cynthia talked about this on her podcast with, oh my gosh, what's her name? Crystal. She talked about this on her podcast with Crystal from Beverly Hills about, Noelle being approached from Bravo. I guess they really like the Next Gen NYC show. I really enjoy it. And the Housewife Kids is what sold it. That's what Andy literally confirmed when he had Ariana and Phaedra on. He was like, well, to be honest, the Housewife Kids kind of greenlit this series. So all of this flack they're getting from the crew, from the inner crew that works on there, like, Charlie, Georgia, about we don't want to be on a show with a bunch of housewife kids. You're on Bravo. And what if they just say, so y'all actually do need to kiss Ariana Bierman's ring? Because the only reason this show got greenlit is because they got some Bravo kids on there, and it's just crazy to see them grow up. I'm really enjoying Next Gen NYC. But Cynthia's daughter Noelle got approached. Love Noelle. Me and Noelle are the same age. She might be like a month. I think her birthday's low in November. Mine is in August. But yes, we're both 25, gonna be 26 this year. And then Adrienne Malouf's son, maybe her oldest son, got also approached to be on the show. So they're trying to stick to kind of like that Gen Z vibe, like mid-20s, early 30s vibe. You know what I mean? Even early 20s, because how old is Riley and Ariana? I think they're like 22, 23. How old is Ariana Bierman? Ariana might be older, but I don't think... Let me see how old Ariana Bierman is, because I cannot remember. She's 23, so Brielle's probably my age. I think Brielle's older than me. Yeah, Brielle's 28. Brielle's older than me. But, yeah, so they're liking the Gen Z vibe of it, like, so like early 20s through early 30s. Because Charlie's gonna be 30 and he acts like a kid out of all of them. That's tea. What else is happening? Sonja Morgan. Sonja apparently was banned from SoulCycle in New York City because she was making out with her boyfriend. I mean, do you expect anything less? But Sonja needs to dump that man, because she's supposed to be on the next season of Bravo's Love Hotel. I'm just like, girl, if you don't dump that man, like, why are you making out at SoulCycle? I'm trying to find the article now, because I'm just like, oh, it was a page 6 article. Because I remember when they dropped this, they didn't say which star. We were just like, is it from the new one? So they said Real Housewives of New York City star allegedly banned from SoulCycle for making out with a man mid-class. So this isn't... Okay, so it is her boyfriend. It's revealed it was Sonja Morgan. The Bravo Lab was booted from East 63rd Street location for her disruptive behavior. SoulCycle instructor claimed on Tuesday's episode of The Cult of Body and Soul she was making out with her boyfriend in the front row, doing a whole bunch of things up there. The former spin teacher alleged. What else? Not doing other stuff up there. When the Bravo celebrity was confronted by the studio manager for her inappropriate antics, the fitness instructor claimed that Morgan started grilling her and pulling the "Do you know who I am" card. I hear Sonja does that a lot. She did that at that one restaurant she was banned at in New York. She's been spending a lot of time in New York City also, because I thought she was like in Connecticut now. She pulled that at that one restaurant in New York and said, like, "Do you know who I am?" And she wasn't trying to pay the bill. So she's been pulling that a lot lately. And let's see. The manager ended up calling corporate, and that woman ended up being banned. Not that woman. Morgan has denied the claim. She probably was making out with him, but not the front row. Sonja remains unhinged. You know who else is also unhinged? Jax M. effing Taylor. I won't have a Friday episode, so I do want to talk about some stuff. I haven't watched the most recent episode of The Valley because I'm sick of The Valley, but there is a petition right now going around for Jax Taylor to get banned. People are saying, why is Bravo haven't severed the ties or cut ties with him. And it's probably because he brings the ratings, even though I'm hearing the Valley's not really doing well. But you need a clear villain. I mean, I will forever think Brittany is not the smartest because, and now you want our sympathy. I can give you sympathy, or I can offer empathy. Sympathy, though, I don't know if I can give you that. People do not like Janet. Janet has hate trains on almost every single social media platform. You know how it's sometimes different? Like, you get a hate train on TikTok, but maybe you'll get the love on Twitter. Like, at least for Love Island, that's all that's on my feed right now. I can't wait for low-key Love Island to be done because I feel like I'm missing Bravo news now. I can't get out of the Love Island stuff, no matter where I'm at. So I go onto Twitter. They hate clearly one person, but on TikTok, they hate a different person. No, Janet from the Valley is getting the hate from every single platform. I think, if anything, Janet's the only person in Bravo history to unite all of the fans. I had to take a break from the Valley. It's a little too dark. Do I think Jax will be on the show? Yes. Do I think he should be banned? No. I mean, we need a clear villain. They need a couple more seasons to secure their bag. They're trying to make Danny and Nia the bad guys. Keep Jax on there because they are trying to gaslight the heck out of the audience to us believing that Danny is worse. So I want you to keep Jax on there because it's a matter of time before Jax shows his butt. He was already showing his butt as soon as he was out of rehab. I don't think he needs rehab. I mean, he says he's sober. I mean, I hope he's sober. He's sober like 100 days or something. Last time he was on Watch Weapons Live, which he should not have been on. But he needs anger management classes. Just because you go to rehab and it don't mean you don't have an anger problem. And then he's like, I don't have a drinking problem. I have an anger problem. So why the heck did you go to rehab? And why the heck are you sober right now if you didn't have a drinking problem or a substance problem? He also, though, needs anger management because even if he's not drinking, he's just a total a-hole and he's totally mean. He's very anxious. He's very defensive, very aggressive. But yeah, there's a petition. Make sure you sign it. Well, what is a petition gonna do? I mean, besides put you on a listserv of other petitions. I remember when they kept trying to ban TikTok, and now it's been pushed back again till September. It's gonna be pushed back again until somebody buys it. He's not gonna get rid of it. But I remember when that was going on, I was like, let me sign this petition. Now I'm on this list of all these other petitions. I'm just like, that's not what I asked for. But thanks for pushing back the deadline. Much appreciated. What else is going on over here? So Anna Wintour has stepped down officially as editor of chief at Vogue. The girls are like, what is going to happen? Given this year's Met Gala, I feel like we only have a couple of choices to do. And I would say it's probably Coleman, Domingo. I feel like he would be a really good one. Naomi Campbell, dare I say, would be a really good one. But if you really want to Anne Hathaway, it would be a full circle moment. Meryl Streep, Devil Wears Prada, if we want to stick in that lane. If we really want to take it there, though, we can also do America Ferrera, Ugly Betty. I'm just thinking of characters, but in terms of actual fashion stylists, I heard rumblings of this man that was going to be on there. He's part of the LGBTQ community. I cannot think of his name, but they did say him. And I do see a man probably taking it, like a black man, and I'll be fine with that. I don't know if Naomi Campbell would do something like that. In terms of Bravo World, Chanel Ayan, Dorit, Erica. Who else got fashion? That's just kind of like thinks they're up there. I don't know. I'm just like, who is going to replace Anna Wintour? Pharrell Williams, I could see him doing that, but he's already with Louis, so I don't know if he has the time to really edit in chief over there at Vogue. Who is going to be the next editor in chief? They're going to have to be very wise about this because it's going to have to be someone very well respected and someone that really has the resume in the industry and someone that knows their fashion sense, because editor-in-chiefs are doing a lot more than just rating looks. They are essentially choosing the format, the outline of the magazine. This is what we want, this is what we don't want. They're in charge of like advertisement, marketing. Editor-in-chief does a lot, so you kind of got to have someone that really knows what they're talking about. It can't just be someone, like I said, that's like judging the Met Gala looks, because this isn't the editor-in-chief isn't just about fashion. It's about a lot more, keeping the magazine afloat. I've loved the magazine industry since I was a little girl. I hate that it's dying, and if it wasn't dying, that is something I definitely would have pursued, because I love the magazine business, like the fashion magazine, like beauty, all of that stuff. Let's get into these the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. The second season was out. It's still trending on Netflix. It's not top 5 though, or it might be 4. I enjoyed it. Was kind of bummed how it ended. I'm just gonna give my quick thoughts, and then we're gonna move on to Nelly and Ashanti, and then some Miami. So Shandi was literally put on hold or suspended because she brought a man back. I don't like how they portrayed that whole Shandi. Jada's the MVP, like, period. Love Jada. And I hate that she didn't come back, but there was something on TikTok that says she is still doing performances. She is a respected alum. She's like an alum Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and she's getting paid to do all like the performances, because she was on Jimmy Fallon night or whatever. She was on that. She's not cheering for the football games, but like she can still be booked with them, or like she has options to still get booked. And that's good, because I hate that her and some of the ladies like fought so hard for that percentage increase, and then literally as she's leaving, they get the notification that they're going to be getting paid like up to 400K. I did the math. They went from making like 20, 30K a season, and it was like a $500 base pay per game you played, per event also you booked. I think every event you booked, and then you also get free services, which I'm an advocate for more money. 110%. I'm an advocate for knowing your worth. I'm an advocate for thinking smarter, not working harder. However, lash extensions, tanning, I'm assuming, nails, hair, filler, Botox, makeup is expensive. So we finally get to see a lot of the trade-offs they get. So your salary may suck. However, you're going to look amazing. You won't look like your salary sucks. It wasn't a bad trade-off, in my opinion. Now, they still had to hustle and work hard because they're living in Texas. But I'm like, I hope they don't slow that down, because the free services and stuff, you can get a free facial, a free massage. It's hard because I'm a content creator. So sometimes it's not always a check at this point in my creation journey. Sometimes it is like, hey, we'll give you free product. And it's like sometimes product I really want to try. So it's difficult, but it's also like I'm not literally putting my body through emotional and physical distress. So that's why I always felt with the cheerleaders and they deserve to be paid more. I'm glad they're getting paid more. I'm just saying I didn't realize how many benefits on the side they had. Like, do you know what I would do with like free Botox? Especially because I feel like I'm getting my first like wrinkle in my forehead. If I don't even want to do it. I'm trying to like keep a really straight forehead these days. I feel like if I do that, I have a wrinkle. Like, do you know what I would do if I had like free Botox? Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't look crazy, but oh yeah, it would definitely be like, no more sweating under the underarm, no more wrinkle, the one that's trying to form. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like as I get older too, I'm like, oh my gosh, my body knows I'm turning 26. Like, I'm on the other end of my 20s. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. Either way, the trade-off for all the services, product they got, and some of the girls walking around with Louis. So obviously Netflix is paying them a pretty penny. Glad they got a 400% increase. So what that means, even for veterans, I think some of the veterans would be making like over 100K, which is what they should have been making. I hope this signals a change within the whole cheerleading atmosphere in football. I don't think it's as bad as it is in football as it is in basketball, because we don't hear any complaints about that. But other than that, the whole Shandi thing, she had a stalker ex, got into a relationship when she probably shouldn't have. that relationship with Ryan seemed very weird to me. So it was crazy to me that they had suddenly broken up and she was trying to get a little fling while they went to Bahamas. They went somewhere. That was wild. I was like, I thought you had a boyfriend. She brought this man back to the hotel room, and I guess one of the strict rules is like you don't bring people back because you never know their obsession. Do they know you're a Dallas cheerleader? And like she also was rooming with 3 other girls. Not gonna lie, if that was me, I would be like, girl, what are we doing? Like, why did you bring this man back? I'm not upset about that. And then we had Kelly Andra or something. Um, her best friend like went on a whole TikTok tangent on TikTok Live, had like 30 viewers. With no shade, but it's just like, why would you risk your whole career for 30 viewers? It got picked up. She was talking crap, how like Shondi's basically on suspension. She didn't say it, but she's like, I'm now in a leader position because she's like the star of the triangle or the star or whatever. But she says she feels like she's getting reprimanded for like a lot of stuff, or like she just didn't feel as supported as like people supported Shondi. But I felt the way Netflix tied that all up was just terrible because I'm just like, what happened? Like, I just feel like it was a terrible like they told a terrible story. Storytelling was not on the vision board that day. Like it was just kind of like, let's hurry up, let's chop up this season, let's wrap it up so we can get greenlit. They're already greenlit for season 3, I'm pretty sure, or they should be. I mean, it's a good series. And I always enjoy the tryouts to see who makes it. And I'm always shocked by who didn't. I'm shocked Maddie K, the little girl, made it. She's like 18, over the one that was Vietnamese. I cannot remember her name, but I just felt like that made no sense to me. But those are always my favorite episodes. Then when like it's during the season, I'm like, all right, whatever. But I guess that rubs some of the girls the wrong way. Either way, Jada is the MVP. And I'm glad she still gets to experience some of the rewards that comes with that salary increase, because it was a 400% salary increase. Like, what? Do you know what I would do with that? I would dip out. But I think she was working with aesthetics, like nursing and stuff. So maybe she already got free filler and Botox. Maybe she didn't need it. I think she had like lip filler or something very small. But I just think it was interesting. I enjoyed the series. Have you guys watched it? That is a good series. And Judy has not, now my phone thinks I said series, but I said a good series. Judy still has not really changed. When they were like, Abby's very muscular, like she needs to stop strength training, she needs to get on a treadmill, like slim down her shoulders. Crazy. What else happened? I can't remember some of the girls' names because Loki watched that like a week ago now. But yeah, that was cool. Let's talk about Cardi B's album Drama, and then let's get into Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to rate the reunion looks, and then I want to talk about the finale, and of course, Britt and Kelly's argument, which kind of put Atlanta's ratings up, put them back on the map because it was a good fight. It was giving OG Atlanta. Some people thought it went too far. Some people were like, that wasn't far enough. I think it was definitely giving OG Atlanta vibes, and kind of makes you wish that Britt wasn't a coward and showed up at the reunion and did not sue Bravo, but that's her loss. But okay, so Cardi B's putting, I don't know if her album's not out yet. It's gonna be called Am I the Drama? Yes, you are. No, I'm joking. She's not the drama. The ex-man she was with is the drama. But she's putting WAP on there. She's putting something else on there that is just kind of like, okay. She's putting, but she's so smart. It's actually very strategic. So she's putting, because it's not out. And then I know she couldn't wait to put it out too, like with the record label. I think this will be her last one with her record label. She's putting Up and WAP. And then yeah, she put Outside, which just dropped apparently. So the people, yeah, Atlantic Recording Corporation. So people's issues with Cardi B's album dropping is that WAP is over 3 years of age. So is Up. Outside, she just dropped Friday. People were like, why are you putting these old songs on there? And she said that's what her fans wanted. They wanted to be able to listen to it on the album. Because those are singles. And I understand what she means, because it's like Beyonce's Texas Hold'em remix. I wish that was on Cowboy Carter. I hope she does like an extended or like adds that, just like I wish she would have added like Renaissance or the Break My Soul Queen's remix on her album, because then you gotta search it to find the single. I understand what she means. However, it's been some years, Cardi. It has been some years. But Cardi's so smart, because it's like she put those two on there, and then she dropped Outside, and her album that doesn't even have all of the tracks yet is already like #1 trending, because people are listening to WAP and Up and Outside on that new album that's still pending 20 more songs. So she's a musical genius, but people are just saying like, girl, people are WAP'd out. They are WAP'd out. I think it's smart. I mean, does it bother me? No. I don't really listen to Cardi B. The only rapper I really listen to is Beyonce. I'm joking. The only rapper I really listen to is Megan Thee Stallion, and I listen to Glorilla every once in a while. The other ones, I listen to male rappers. Does that make me like a terrible person? I don't know. I just like the Lottos of the world, specifically the Cardi B's. I mean, I listen to Nicki Minaj every once in a while. But a lot of their stuff sounds the same. That's why I like Megan Thee Stallion, because she talks about some real stuff. And I talked about that in one of my episodes. Like, it's very difficult for me to, like, enjoy female rap. I guess you can call me a prude. Like, I'm very, like, not a lady. I mean, I can have fun. I definitely have fun. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like what Lotto talks about is very vulgar. And it's like, no, I don't listen to Lil Baby, Da Baby. I used to love Da Baby. Or, like, what's his name? I don't listen to like hard rappers. The most hard rappers I listen to is like Don Toliver, Travis Scott. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like dirty rap. I'm just not a person like that. I do like Drake, but it's been very difficult for me lately to even listen to Drake. So I don't even really listen to him. But I don't really listen to like that nasty stuff. Or like the most rap I listen to is like Future. Like, you know what I mean? Mainstream, but like not because I listen to their full albums. I don't listen just to the mainstream artists. So it's just like, or songs that are trending. I listen to their full albums, but I'm more of an R&B, house. I like that new music, you know. Does that make me less interesting? I don't know. But okay, Miami. Julia put out a statement a couple weeks ago on her freaking Instagram story. Nobody could read it, just like none of us can ever understand what she's saying. I'm sorry. I just like, she's really pissed me off. She put the font in cursive. She didn't want us to understand what she was saying, because she knows it was a bunch of BS. It was a bunch of bullock. She basically said like the next couple episodes, her behavior is not a reflection of who she is as a person. Now we know why she's putting that out, because we did see the infamous drink toss on Gertie, which wasn't, if you're gonna do a drink toss, commit to it fully, like get it on her. But Julia was just waiting for a moment, sitting there waiting for a moment. She fired off. The girls were like, well, maybe you and Gertie should talk. Gertie's like, do you want to go talk over there? And she was like, no. And then like had her hand all in her face, and was like playing charades. She was like, I was just like, a girl, what is going on? Julia has never had a storyline. People are saying the only reason she's on there is because of Martina. And it's so crazy. I think the only reason she's on there is to boost their LGBTQ ratings. It's like, why are we doing that when they're not genuine? I mean, we have freaking Bronwyn from OC, that whole fiasco, and like her new leaf. But I'm like, and I feel like I'm right, because I go onto the Peacock mobile app, and they're like amplify LGBTQ voices, and guess who's in the center? Julia from Miami. She does not I just like it. So you just wanted to use her for marketing? What? Because you cannot tell me Julia deserves a mojito over Adriana. You can't, and then that's controversial. That's controversial. I don't really care. I'm just saying, it's like, why is Julia on the show? And then it's like, she hasn't had a storyline. Her storyline has been Martina. And it's just so disgusting to see how Martina treated Gertie. But at the end of the day, Julia wanted to be in with the Cuban Barbie doll, Alexia, and the bro, Marisol. You cannot tell me Marisol should not be a housewife either. But I think it's her decision not to be. But the fact of the matter is, she's wanted to be cool with them. She's wanted to be friends with them. She's finally in with them. She's finally getting invited to these dinners. And now she's like, let me turn on Adriana. Let me not tell her about my twins. And then let me turn on Gertie. The whole thing is super dumb. She's upset that Gertie couldn't join a Zoom. Gertie tried to text you. You're like, well, the news is out. You'll hear about it soon. Like I'm some groupie. You want your friend to learn about it in the media. She texted you congrats. Was it a little dry? Yes. But it's like, I'm mad at you. Like, you just told me to go fish for that information when I'm trying to contact you and connect with you. So who's really in the wrong? And then you guys finally address each other and you're saying she's too much. Did not like how Kiki pulled Gertie to the side before all of this at the gym and was like, the ladies think you do too much. What about y'all do too little? That's the best way Phaedra Park said it. I don't do too much, you do too little. And why are we trying to dim this black girl's shine? Why are we trying to dim her light to make y'all comfortable? Alexia does too much. Adriana does too much. Julia's doing too much with her hands. I mean, they all do too much. Larsa does too much. Lisa does too much. The person that probably did the less and is off the show is Dr. Nicole. And she didn't even have to do that much because the money already talked. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, Alexia does a lot. Now, do I think Gertie can be annoying? Yes, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about y'all letting her slide last season because it was a tough year. But she's still in recovery. She's still going through remission. And now you're like, let's alienate Gertie because Dr. Nicole is not on here. And Julia, even your besties went on Watch What Happens Live and said you were in the wrong. So it's just kind of like, because you're blowing it out of proportion. You're blowing out of proportion. Dr. Nicole even weighed in the comment section, and she was like, I'm so sorry my good friend Gertie had to go through this alone. And I honestly expected more out of Kiki. I think she was trying to diffuse the situation. She didn't want Gertie to come off as the angry black woman, but I did not like that gym conversation. That rubbed me the wrong way. Her like, the ladies think you're too much. Girl, who are you? You just joined the group. And I like Kiki, but let's keep it cute. Wrong road, as Portia would say. Wrong road. Wrong road. Let's get into Atlanta because my head is spinning. There's been so much going on. I also want to talk about Watch What Happens Live as well. You're listening to What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts. I don't even know if I said that in my intro. I just said welcome to the pod. Yes, this is What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts, if I did not say that. It's been a while. When you don't film consistently, it's kind of like you lose it. You kind of lose that like intro. You kind of lose like wait, what was I supposed to be saying? Because I'm so used to filming twice a week. But even this week, I won't be able to because I will be seeing Beyonce. Next week, it'll be back to normal until the end of July when I will be on my next vacation. But it'll be pretty normal throughout July until the end of it. Let's get into these Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion looks. Wait, I have to pull them up. Okay, so reunion looks dropped. Was it last week? I think last Wednesday. The color was gorgeous. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna put it up on the screen, of course. But let's go through these looks. So the first look I'm looking at is Portia. Portia looks amazing. I wish she would have done something different with her hair. The wig kind of just looks plopped on there. It doesn't, I think even an updo would have been nice, but the top, the corset, the bust on this thing, it looks like it's worth alone $100K. She looks gorgeous. The jewelry looks amazing. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the hair. Okay, so let's work down. So now we're looking at Shamia. 8. So the thing was Grenada. 8. Shamia is my best dress. I'm sorry, I couldn't wait to tell you. Shamia is my best dress, from the bob to the earrings matching the dress, the makeup, body on 10. She looks amazing. She looks amazing. Then we're gonna move to Angela. So this look took me a minute to like and enjoy for a second. I was just like, it's kind of boring. I also think something's off of her hair or her makeup, like something I did not like. But when I saw this dress in the trailer for the reunion, I was like, oh, it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. It hugs her body amazing. Angela's body is tea as well. I mean, it's Atlanta. If the lady's body ain't tea, it ain't Atlanta. She looks really good. I would even say like Angela's probably my top 3 for sure. Okay. Okay. So, so we're gonna move to Kelly. I would have loved to see what Britt would have wore. So unfortunately with Kelly's, I can't get past the face. It don't move. And if it do, it hurt. Kelly has went OD. She had just got her filler and her lips done and in her face. She looks like a totally completely different person. Hair eats, face different. Dress, so Kelly really is at a disadvantage. See, I'm sure I'm like 5'2", give or take. But Kelly is like 4'11". And I feel like Kelly's stylist, and I think this is why her and Britt were beefing, which I don't think it was completely about that. It's because Britt's looks were eating. Britt, though, is a good average size, and then she has a BBL. So it's like, in Atlanta, it's like the fashion looks better because you have a BBL and you're a good size. Britt's a cute girl. I think Kelly is a pretty girl when she's not fresh off the surgeon table. But with this look, it just doesn't give to me. It looks like her stylists are failing her. I think she should have probably worn a gown. This just makes her look a lot shorter. Hair eats though, but I can't describe it. This I see the vision, but like I said, I think it should have either been all short maybe or even long, because I think she probably needed a gown to really elongate her height because she is so short. And certain outfits that they put her in, I'm just like, why would you put her in that? Like, it just don't read at all to have put her in that. Let's move on to Cynthia Bailey, the OG, the friend of. She's doing amazing things. Cynthia was kind of boring. I was shocked at the shoe I saw. The hair eats, the makeup eats, face eats. She looks really good. You know, she was on Weight Watchers. She's lost a lot of weight. She looks really good. She looks healthy. She looks comfortable. Dress is a little boring, but when you have a face like that, nothing you really put on is boring or basic. You kind of already elevated because she already has such an amazing, gorgeous face. Let's move up to Drew. Drew Sidora, I always feel like her outfits never fit her. Even in the finale today, the finale I watched today, she had a 2-piece on, and it just looked like I'll never forget who caught her can of biscuits. And that's what it's giving sometimes. I'm just like, I even have a wider back. There's just certain stuff I wouldn't put on. You have to be cognizant of your body type, and not in certain stuff that you like see your stylist pull for you. You're like, okay, but I have a wider back. Like, I don't look like this person you're showing me. Like, I just feel like you have to be cognizant of that. And she's never is. There's a baby hair that almost touches her eyebrow bone. Why? I don't know. Her breasts look amazing. This dress and the hair is just doing way too much for me. Um, I don't like the hair blending in with the feathers on her shoulder. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, I guess it's time. I guess it's time. Let's look at Phaedra. Let's look at Phaedra's and let's judge it. I had to put my headpiece on because she got a headpiece on as well. Um, so I don't get it. Phaedra's dress is a disgrace to Atlanta reunions. Probably the worst dress I've seen at a reunion in Atlanta. Not a pretty dress. It looks very cheap. It looks like a bodysuit, and then it looks like Belle's dress from Beauty and the Beast was just sewn at the bottom. It's just not a flattering dress on her. Phaedra's also very short, and she also has a disadvantage of certain things not looking amazing on her because she is short. So you have to really be careful what you get. I feel like she's way too matchy matchy, from the earrings to the shoes to the bodysuit, because it's a bodysuit and it's just a drape sewed at the bottom, and then to the headpiece. And it does not look good. My best dress is definitely Shamia, following Portia, then Angela. My bottom three would definitely be Drew and Phaedra. I'm even putting Kelly. I think Cynthia's the only one that's in the safe zone, because Kelly's dress is doing way too much. It's very expensive though, I can tell, but I just don't like it. I don't like it with her look, but her hair looks amazing. She probably has like the best hair at the reunion. That wig is on. Really would have been interested to see what Kenya Moore would have wore. Kenya loves purple and yellow. Those are her shades. And I would have been interested to see what Britt was going to wear, because we can hate on Britt all we want. She's a pretty girl, and her stylist, Paris, who used to be Kelly's stylist, who she gave the ultimatum to, she literally gave the ultimatum to him, or yeah, to Paris, about like, hey, you can't keep styling my friend. Because she felt like Britt was getting the better looks. I mean, but in reality, they just didn't know how to really style Kelly, which is shocking if you work with them for that long that they don't know how to style you. Yeah, her style was cute. Like she's really upped it ever since she had the stylist that she was able to take from Kelly. Like they really upped her game from the first time she came on with the Fashion Nova fashions, which is fine. But like Real Housewives of Atlanta don't need to be in Fashion Nova fashions. Go to Candy's boutique. But you know what I mean? I just feel like her fashions really upped it up. Even Paris posted something on his Twitter. I'm gonna try to find it. Paris has been very active. But I'm also like, is there a party that way she's like, you chose Kelly? Because you're not even going to be able to show your fashions because Britt's not on the show anymore. So I'm just like, is there any part of him that wishes he chose the other way, and then maybe just like learn Kelly's body a little different? I don't know. The looks though, Phaedra's dress was terrible. Terrible, the worst dress. I have no other words besides let's get into Real Housewives of Atlanta now. We're going to do a recap. It's going to be a little supersized episode. I might go a little over an hour. Yeah, let's get into Real Housewives of Atlanta, because I want to talk about Kelly and Britt's fight, which I really did touch on about the whole stylist stuff. And then I want to talk about the finale, of course, and Watch What Happens Live. You are listening to What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts. We are getting into Atlanta. The last two episodes, I was not able to recap the one before, but the only thing we really need to talk about is the whole Marcus of it all, and of course the whole Kelly and Brett. So Marcus came on, and yes, we're talking about not the finale yet. Marcus came on to Kelly's event. Kelly and Charles were doing a waffle cook-off, which ended up being a tie. Drew showed up late. Phaedra was there, and Angela was there. And then it was Kelly versus Charles. This man stormed in and basically said that he has some information that Angela should be privy to, and was requesting to meet up with her, on the side. And it was very weird. It was a very weird situation. The ladies were like, what the heck is going on, while they're chopping on some waffles. We were confused as an audience. It just seemed like he wanted some extra airtime. I did listen to Carlos King's podcast, love Carlos King. And he was just saying, as a producer, like, there's so many people that come up to you all the time, and he's like, he would never give someone the energy to come on the show and say something about his girls. So he was saying that was like a fault in production as well, which I did catch. And I agree with him because it's like, I can't imagine how many people are like, oh, I slept with Batman, or my friend is sleeping with her husband. Let me come on the show and tell you, or something is like, oh, I'm friends with XYZ, let me come on the show. So many people want to come on the show. This man was thirsty as soon as he stepped into that kitchen. And also, they were at Williams Sonoma or something. They were in some retail's kitchen and it was doing an event. Super high class. Like, get it together. So this Marcus guy comes in and then he does a toast. Kelly goes over there, like, after they're like, dude, like, do you know him? And Angela's like, no, I don't. Angela is maintaining herself really well. And the gag is Charles is right there cooking. He does not hear anything this guy is saying or alleging. Charles is not hearing anything he's saying. So the guy goes over after being turned down. Angela's like, I'm not about to deal with this. Goes over there. Kelly's doing the cheers. The guy's like, to Charles sleeping on his wife, or like cheating on his wife. Something like that. Something outlandish, something crazy. It was just kind of like, what? What are you talking about? So we get that. And then we're going to get the revelation of who apparently was behind those rumors, which I do have a theory on. The people aren't going to like it. I don't care. So Britt and Kelly's big blowout, which just shows us that they were never really friends. They were just in an alliance when entering the show. So Kelly and Britt get into the screaming match. First of all, Britt comes in looking good. Kelly looked a mess. And that's why I think she's mad at her stylist. And that's why they're no longer working together. Because some of her looks are hitting. And then some of them are just like, what was she wearing? It was like this. But it's also one of those days for Kelly because her ex had been locked up that day. He didn't pay child support. You got to be on that before you go to court. So they weren't even divorced. It was a day for her, you could tell. So Britt comes in and says like, hi, Kelly. Kelly ignores her. Like, literally, she's like, hi, Kelly. And she's like, do not talk to me. Like, you could tell she was like over her as soon as she saw her. Also, she looked really good. So I'm pretty sure she would be over her. And then they get into a screaming match about like people setting up stuff. Because Angela's like, someone definitely set that up, that Marcus guy to come. And Kelly was like, I just wonder if it was the person that didn't even bother showing up. But in my opinion, Angela and Britt don't really have an issue. Like, they squashed it already. I didn't think it was that pressing, but I can't keep up because Britt has so many problems with people. Like, I really wouldn't know a thing. Either way, that situation happens. Then we get on the topic of like pill popping husbands, which apparently it wasn't even pill popping husbands. Apparently Kelly was talking to Phaedra, like, get your pill popping roommate, because Phaedra and Britt roomed together when she was screaming. And then we get Britt yelling out, well, what about all the abortions you had when you were married? So it's like, are you insinuating she was cheating on her husband? Or are you insinuating she was aborting his child? It got nasty very quick. However, the ratings were up. That was a housewife fight, especially in Atlanta. Very petty. People talk about, and I will keep saying this, Sutton's wallet comment has nothing on Marlo telling Kenya, your own mama don't want to fool with you. It's like Atlanta's ruthless. But you know what? At the end of the day, the ladies move on. We're not gonna be besties, but they move on. And that's something Beverly Hills continues to struggle with. They will hold that in for the next several episodes. When in Atlanta, you say something, when you heat it, you move on from it. Now, the girls is telling each other's business. Apparently, Kelly don't go nowhere without her pills. She has a bag of pills, and there was a text message sent to Carlos King's podcast to Claudia from someone saying, like, it's very true that Britt has a pill popping issue, and she carries everything from like Tylenol PM to like Xanax to like Adderall, all of this stuff. So I don't know anything about the pill popping. What I do know is behavior. Britt seems anxious a lot of the times. They're very defensive, very aggressive, and very like, as soon as you point something towards her, she's ready to fire off. There's no 50, it's 0 to 100. She be tripping a lot. Like she's twitches. So I don't know. Does she have a pill popping problem? I don't know. It's not our business, just like it's not our business to know if Kelly did abort her ex's children, especially because of the situation they are in. Like, that's none of our business. We don't blame her, right? The fight got dirty. It got very dirty. The ladies were left gagged. That was the epic blowout, and I think it was like one of the highest rated episodes of the whole season, and didn't even have Kenya on it. And that's why it sucks that Britt, because to be honest, Britt's been showing up. She kind of faded to the background. Shamia's totally faded to the background, but Britt was fading to the background towards like the full entire season. And then it's like, let me come out these last 2 episodes, these last 3. I'll give her 3. Because even in Grenada, I was literally on Team Brit. But now it's unfortunate because it's like you have decided to sue your employer and it didn't even go through because you forgot to pay the legal fees. So I'm like, if you're going to sue someone, at least make sure you're suing them. And then it's like, you also didn't show up to the reunion. So people were saying they were using Brit as a scapegoat for Kenya. The network does not like Kenya. They've been trying to get rid of her, and it just ended up being the perfect opportune moment for Brit to do the dirty work. And Brit kind of got the short end of the stick because now she's like, well, the images weren't even me, and now I'm literally being made out to be this liar and this crazy person, and it's affecting my business actually. But I would have liked to see Brit next season. I would have liked to see the same cast add Kenya back and add Nene as a friend of. I think we would have had something. We already know Phaedra's confirmed she's coming back. I'm pretty sure Portia will be coming back, especially because she's not with that man anymore. And the only reason she left the show is because she did not want to be held responsible for how they got into a relationship. So that's literally that episode. Let's get into the epic finale, which was honestly like lackluster. So first of all, Portia, so in the previous episode, we do know that Portia's cousin Londi passed away. In this episode, the finale, we learned that she passed away while on the phone to Lauren, which is Portia's sister. Very sad. And apparently like Lauren and Londi grew up together. We know Londi from Portia's Family Matters. We've seen her on the show. We still don't know what happened, but apparently she was transitioning while she was on the phone with Lauren. We don't know what happened though. Very sad. So Portia's tapping Phaedra to really plan her cousin's funeral. So Phaedra will be responsible for that because it's not new that Phaedra works with like funerals and stuff. She's been doing that since like season 5 on Atlanta. She came on season 3. She's been kind of passionate about it. So, yes. Angela, then we get her talking to her therapist about the whole Marcus situation and having to trust Charles, but she's also very upset because her houses are not selling. She's a real estate agent, or not a real estate agent, but maybe she flips them or something. She's very upset that they're not selling. She's actually losing money. She's very much in the hole, and Charles has to keep digging her out the hole. And now he's at a point now where he's like, I can't keep doing this because they're just not selling. So she just wishes she would have listened to him initially when it came to selling these homes. We've seen the homes. We know why they aren't selling. From the furniture to the layouts. Yeah, we see why they aren't selling. I do hope Atlanta, though, because she'll be back. And she definitely was a good first-time housewife. And I definitely want to give out my MVPs this season. I'm hoping that Atlanta check helps her keep her houses afloat. Not the first season check. That won't happen. But, maybe next season, because they do double it, kind of. And maybe next season's check will really help her, because that sucks with your business. Like, putting your all into it, and then it's like, it didn't even work out. I feel really bad for Angela. So then we have Shamia showcasing her talents at like a talent, what is it called? Like a talent show. It was very weird. Portia could not make it because, she's dealing with all of that. The invite was extended to her. Also, there's something weird going on again between Portia and Shamia because Britt has relayed that information to Portia, that she has seen text messages between her and her therapist, or her and her divorce attorney or whatever, from Shamia. And then also Cynthia has now told Shamia that what Britt has done. So there's this weird like little tension festering between them. It's like she didn't show up to her event, but she did show up to Angela's event, which is probably like the last event. So maybe that's why she was like, oh, this is gonna be like the last event of the season, like let me go. But I thought that was very interesting how she didn't go, but obviously she's like mourning Londi. So Shamia has a showcase for her talent. And I thought she could sing, but maybe she was nervous. It wasn't giving. It wasn't giving at all. It was not giving at all. So then we get to Angela's event, which is the big, epic, that's what we're here for. That's really what it was about. Also, did Kelly buy her Instagram followers? So I don't know if she bought them or not. Britt is alleging that she has. I mean, nothing really shocks me these days. Also, we get a scene before we get into Angela's event of like Ralph calling Drew to like meet up with her, and he's like, I just don't know how we got here. So the kids weren't even in the house. They were visiting her parents in Chicago because they're trying to figure out this divorce stuff. And he's like, I just don't understand how we even got here. All this stuff. I'm just like, why are we still talking about this? Why is Ralph going to be at the reunion? He's not even seated behind Drew. Anything for a check, y'all. But either way, Kelly apparently went from 80K to 150K. And Britt points that out, and she's like, I just find that a little interesting how like you jumped like followers like that, because they were talking about promoting Angela's event, and Angela's like asking her how many followers do you have, and she was like 150K, and then Britt was like, well, you just had 80K. I was like, ooh, not me actually liking Britt. Finally. Okay, so what else happened? So we get there to the Charles Oakley Foundation. It's a dinner, and Portia shows up best dressed. Her dress eats, and definitely very difficult for her, but Angela's super sweet to honor her at the foundation because of all the hard work she's done with her, grandfather, and all the hard work Londi's done. They've been very like active when it comes to like civil unjust and all that stuff. So Portia breaks down kind of in the bathroom. Ladies follow, all about bringing up sisterhood. Then we get them coming out the bathroom after that. The awards are given out, all of this stuff. And now Cynthia has told Portia that I did tell Shamia that Britt showed the text messages between y'all. So, and Portia's kind of like, you probably shouldn't have done that. Like, you did not need to do that at all. That's that. So now we get Marcus coming on the scene. Charles sees him immediately, wants him escorted out immediately, and like literally is like cussing him out and all this stuff. And everyone's like, that's where he gets his name from. I can't remember what they said his name was, but from playing basketball, the reinforcer or something, the enforcer, I think. He was mad. He was heated. He's like, you're not gonna disrespect my wife and disrespect me and then come up in here. And then Angela's like chasing the guy down, like literally cussing Charles out. She's like, literally like, let me handle it, all of this stuff. She's like, why are you doing this? That was a scene in itself. I was like, what is going on? So then after that, we get Angela building up this whole talk through, this whole scene with people. And she's basically just like, I just really wanted to know, Kelly, why this man was at your event. And, was it a coincidence? So we think she's about to blame Kelly. And then she's like, but then I think she said something to Drew. No, not to Drew. She said something to like Britt. She was just going around except for Portia and Drew. And she was kind of like, but it also could have been you. And then we land on ding, 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 Phaedra. So this is what we were waiting on. Phaedra to be in some other messy mess. So Phaedra, I feel like, was caught off guard. I don't think she thought this would happen. However, people are like, of course Phaedra did it. I wouldn't be shocked. So Angela's like, of course you did it. Like, you want to ring. You're so jealous. All of this stuff. And then Phaedra's like, jealous of what? You like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, what am I jealous of? And she's like, my ring. And she was like, I know, like, I want you to have your husband, girl, but you can't lie, Phaedra. There's been this weird animosity between you two. You do not like Angela for whatever reason. I thought it's because her and Charles probably went out on a date. I don't know if that's true or not, but as soon as Phaedra came in, it was kind of like, oh, she was already like making fun of Angela. Like, she's like, I don't know Angela, but I know her husband. It was giving, I don't know the wife, but I know him. And she was like, I've never known him to be married. All of this stuff. It was giving that. So I could see why Marcus apparently was like, Phaedra put me up to this. Also, they had this scene off camera. They filmed it, but it wasn't shown, and I feel like we needed to see that. And I guess he like wrote down her name, all this stuff, and it was Phaedra. Drew was there. But everyone in the room was like, Phaedra did not do that. And my general, like, if you really want me to be honest, and I'm not a Phaedra apologist because I'm like opening my eyes, I'm like, dang, like Phaedra's actually a terrible person, but she's so good for reality TV. She's a really good villain, and she should lean more into that. I don't think Phaedra did this. Phaedra is smart. And then she even said, I have 2 weeks coming in. I don't even know these girls. Why would I do this? And people are like, well, why would you do that to Candy? Now, her and Candy, go listen to it if you really want to know what's the reality on their friendship follow, because I do a deep dive in 2 parts. But there was so much more to that. This Angela thing seems so minuscule when it comes to Phaedra and her dealings in the dirty work. I don't think Phaedra really would do this. I don't think she would not do this, but I don't think she would do it this sloppy. Like, this man is sloppy. He's like, I was hired to be there. I think there was definitely some part of like production that played into it. I don't know if Phaedra really like did anything, and I don't know if Phaedra really had any time to do anything for the last 2 weeks she was on. Maybe I'm naive, but I just feel like it was too sloppy of a job. Like, Phaedra, if she's gonna do some sneaky stuff, she's gonna make sure her fingerprints are pointing towards someone else. Maybe the someone else was Kelly, but I don't think Phaedra would hire this man. But Angela did say, you know, Phaedra's the one that gave her all the information on this guy. Like, she wouldn't have known anything if it wasn't for Phaedra. Like, she's the one who knew his full name, all this stuff. And it turns out on Twitter, he's a registered sex offender as well. So it's just like, would Phaedra have something to do with this? Did she represent him in the past? I don't know, but him coming in with all that energy, the crime just seemed like a cheap shot to me. I'm like, of course they're gonna start, you know, blaming Phaedra because of her past. And then even Angela brings it up. She's like, your checkered past in this friend group before, and now you're doing the same stuff. I don't know if I believe Phaedra did it. I mean, if she did it, I mean, it's nothing compared to the Candy stuff. I mean, we can move on from it. But she's never going to admit if she did or not. But I want to see the receipts at the reunion if she did do it. Even Portia's like, fight me at the reunion. She's like, I don't think Phaedra would do something like this. Like, it's just kind of like, this man, I feel like was put up to it by himself. And I feel like production was like, all right, we need something. We need one last thing. And they're like, let's just do that, because there is the production aspect. But I don't know if I think Phaedra did it. What do you guys think? Do you think Phaedra did it? I mean, it's a good amount of people that do. And I'm just like, there's motive, but I don't know if there is intent. Like, what, like, you know what I mean? What's the, like, you know what I mean? There's already the rumors out there. And then I'm also like, what's the intent? Like, is Phaedra trying to get with Charles? No, she's not. So I don't know. That was kind of the blow up. And then we have Shamia and Britt arguing as well. Britt's over it. She's like, get me from here. And Shamia's like, you like to threaten people with pistols. I'm like, why are we finally talking about it? Why didn't nobody want to talk about it before? We're finally talking about how she likes to threaten people with pistols. A little too late. Couple episodes too late. 10 episodes too late. That was the finale, though. It was the epic finale of Sweet 16. We're looking forward to a 3-part reunion. Genuinely shocked it got 3 parts. I would have been fine with 2 parts. Because Britt's not there, and Kenya's not there. And that's a huge storyline. So I really don't know how we're going to stretch this into 3 parts. And like, are we going to recall the incident and like what everyone else saw? Like, how is that going to go down? I don't know. And then we do get a closing scene on Atlanta of Portia finally filming in her house. It was like 5 months later, and she's talking about like the divorce and all this stuff. House was gorgeous, but she was finally able to film at least a scene in her home. And we do know in the divorce proceedings and like the legalities and all that stuff of it, we do know that she did get the house. And at least she has the house for like a couple of days, not I mean like a couple of months, like a good amount of months until she finds like a new house. Let's get into some Watch What Happens Live, because Phaedra and Ariana from Next Gen, Ariana Behrman, was on, and even Andy's like, Phaedra, did you have something to do with this? And then she's like, but what sense was that make? Like, I was literally off the show because of something, and then I came back. But Phaedra tried to play it off like she was off the show. But he was like, well, you were benched from the show. He was like, let's clear that up. He was like, you weren't just off the show. And she was like, well, yes. So if I'm benched from the show, why would I come back and do some shady stuff like this again? Because the producers eat it up. That's simple. They eat it up. But I do agree with her. It's kind of like, I just got in trouble for something. Like, I was blacklisted for 10 seasons or whatever, however long she was gone. Why would I come back? My first order of business is that. And the only reason I would believe her more is if she didn't come in with all this energy for Angela. It's like, you don't even know the girl, but she had a lot of energy for Angela. So it makes one wonder, like, what is your tea? What is your animosity towards Angela? Some other revelations on Watch What Happens Live. Dustin Ross, who often recaps Real Housewives of Atlanta with Carlos, King, and Claudia, was on. And I know he cannot stand Phaedra. And I feel like as soon as Andy introduced him, I didn't know him and Andy were cool. He's like my good friend. But he was like, as soon as he introduced her, I feel like they kept showing the camera back to Phaedra, because Dustin has made it very known that he does not like Phaedra Parks. Like, Dustin Ross does not mess with Phaedra Parks. So it is so funny to me that the one episode he's behind the bartender, the bar, to like talk about like everything going on in his life, that he's on an episode when Phaedra's on there. So that was hilarious to me. But Ariana is becoming the next It reality star, the next Paris Hilton, if you say, or something. Like, she's becoming an It girl when it comes to reality TV. And she talks about like her parents knew that she was going to be addressing this on the show, and this was her truth. She also says, let's stop with the narrative that it was just Kim. It was also Croy stealing her money, and they do the same with Brielle. Like I suspect, Brielle is with that minor league guy too, so they're definitely hitting up Brielle. She said they do pay her back though, maybe not within the same week, but she eventually gets her money back. And she's just a firm believer in not having money get in the middle of family. And so she's like, at the end of the day, it's my mom, my best friend. She needs money. I got her. And yeah, I think Ariana has a very good head on her shoulders, very mature, which is shocking because of her mom. But she's very mature. She says she loves New York City. We also talk about the cast not liking the Housewife kids and all that stuff, and the Charlie of it all. And he said it's crazy because the Housewife kids is what greenlit the show, which is why there's going to be apparently another one greenlit. That's the word on the street. But what else did she say? She said, I don't know why everyone thinks that her parents are getting back together. They are not getting back together. She said that Croy and her, it depends what terms they're on. He did adopt them. That's still her dad. She said it depends what motion he's filing that week. That's how she knows what terms they are on. Ariana's very mature though. I wonder if we're gonna see Brielle at all this season, because Brielle, I'm not gonna lie, was my girl. I love me some Brielle. But I thought it was a really good Watch What Happens Live, besides all Dustin Ross, Phaedra Parks of it all. I just wonder if he was like rolling his eyes when she was talking, because she was throwing the shade and stuff. She tried to walk back her comment about calling Angela the oldest, youngest looking person she's ever seen. She's like, I didn't say it like that. I just didn't know her and Portia were the same age. It was shady. And then she also talks about he addressed her like, how you leave Married to Medicine. Someone asked, how you leave Married to Medicine, calling them a bunch of mean girls, but you're being mean. And she's like, I'm not being mean. Shady, yes, but she said, my actions are not to literally be mean to someone. And she said, that's the difference between Married to Medicine, some of the girls on there, which I think she had a very valid point. I don't know. I like Phaedra Parks. I think she's good for TV. Would I want to be her friend? No. No, I would not want to be your friend at all. That was your Toxic, but it is Tuesday episode. Toxic Tuesdays. Still working on it. If you are watching me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like this video. And if you're listening on my podcast, on wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you give me 5 stars and leave a comment. I need to get my comments up. Let me know what you're thinking of the show. Everything good. Everything good. Let's just keep it everything good. But no, that was your episode, and I will see you guys until the next time. I will be back with another Toxic, but it's Tuesday. Next Tuesday when I am back from seeing Beyonce.